Yeah, what up, folks? Hey, so it's no surprise to many of my friends and viewers, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, especially Legends. The original trilogy is great. It's one of my favorite memories as a little kid. Then I grew into the prequels. That is my era of Star Wars. That is the Star Wars I grew up with. I love the prequels, love Clone Wars, love KOTOR, SWOTOR. Like the early 2000s to like right before Disney conquered Star Wars and killed it, consumed it, butchered it, and packaged it as this abomination that is modern day Disney canon Star Wars. That was my year of Star Wars. Star Wars has gotten me through some of the worst moments of my life. KOTOR, SWOTOR, conversations I still have about Star Wars. You know, it's still a huge part of my life. I love the Mando. But if I just say one thing about Star Wars that has always spoken to me and been with me since the very beginning, it's the New Republic era of books from the 90s. When I was in middle school, reading the X-Wing books, reading the Thrawn trilogy, the Jedi Academy trilogy, New Jedi Order, some good things, some bad things, don't hate it. Like the Star Wars New Republic era, the stories of Luke Skywalker rebuilding the New Jedi Order, the Rogue Squadron and Wraith Squadron wars against the Imperial remnants. This was my era. The characters I grew up in these books, the planets they explored, the wars they fought, the great lightsaber duels between Luke and Palpatine Dark Empire, the war between the resurrected Sith Empire attacking the New Republic and the Dark Empire comics. This was my childhood. This is what grew me. The adventures I had in this era of Star Wars Legends has had such an impact on my life as a nerd, my views of reality, normality. In fact, I look in the New Jedi Order that Luke started, not the books, but the New Jedi Order itself, the Jedi Academy trilogy, and how Luke reformed the Jedi Order, and the knights he trained, Corran Horn, Jason Solo, Anakin Solo, Kif Darwin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Jedi from the New Jedi Order, Jaina Solo, Mara Jade, have formed, they become such archetypes in my views of normality, character, morality, and they mean such a great deal to me. The New Republic heroes, Wedge Antilles, Han Solo, Chewbacca, the Gamorrean pilot, Piggy. The characters in these books and the stories they told have defined so much my views of reality and my relationships, and they mean a lot to me. And the New Republic era in the books was so well done. The conflicts they describe, the rebuild, the concept of the New Republic, that in the immediate aftermath of the Battle of Endor, the books pick up right after the event, the Truthful Rocky arc, like with Imperials and Republic join together briefly, but then the outer rim panicked from an invading reptilian and alien empire into hordes of battle droids, and Luke leading the charge. To me, this is just such good storytelling. And after that, the New Republic and the X-Wing, the X-Wing books, the Thrawn trilogy, the Jedi Academy books, it tells us this story of the Rebel Alliance, this emergency military alliance of rebels and militias and freedom fighters rebuilding the Republic. And the sheer poetry of this era, calling it the New Republic, how it's this hope was always the goal of the rebellion. Hope was always the goal of rebuilding this great, ancient, and mystic civilization that lasted for 25,000 years and united all these races and civilizations of the galaxy in this democratic union. And to me, that's so poetic. The New Republic always, and especially in the early books, represented the civilization of hope. This government of dreamers, of builders, of explorers. There were even like legends, like role-playing games and supplements where you could pretty much Star Trek be the New Republic's Star Trek explorers going to the unknown regions and finding new civilizations and being contact with new species. Like the Far Strider campaign, all this stuff was just brilliant, and it merged like things like Star Trek into the Star Wars mythos, and it was good. It was the feels, and it did it right. The New Republic was this civilization of hope, of mutual cooperation. It was kind of like the Federation, kinda, but the writers always had this way of keeping the feel and the core essence of the rebellion and its characters alive. The New Republic always felt like this rebirth, the phoenix rising of a civilization that had been nearly destroyed by Palpatine, but was kept alive in generations of freedom fighters and idealists and was reborn. I just loved that. The New Republic is one of my favorite factions in Star Wars ever. I even like the New Republic in canon. I still like the New Republic in canon. It's okay. It's not the best, but I think it works. And I think they're telling a similar story, but a slightly different story with the Mando and the Book of Boba Fett. I am looking forward to Ahsoka and the new Heir to the Empire movie. I am looking forward to that. Legends Disney's doing it right because they have Dave Filoni in the charge, and he realizes the importance of this era of Star Wars and the writers and content creators that made it such a thing. And he's trying to bring it back into canon bit by bit, and we're seeing that. I'm stoked for that. I like that, and I'm really stoked for Ahsoka. They're bringing back so many, like the Imperial Dark Jedi, Thrawn, New Jedi Order in a slightly different way, and they do it right. That could undo a lot of the plot holes and fucked up mistakes in the Disney trilogy. And I'm looking forward to what Mando could do. And I really do think further, if they allow Legends writers to continue writing Legends and have a continuity, like a multiverse sort of thing, like what they did with Marvel, you can see a lot of success, and Star Wars can get back to the right track. It's already on the right track. It's going in that direction. Hopefully, Ahsoka sets on that path. But whatever. But back when I loved the books, the New Republic books were so cool. Legends Gamble is one of my favorite books of all time. You see the rogues infiltrating Coruscant, the Imperial capital, fighting their way through the dark underground cities with alien gangsters, fighting against armies of stormtroopers, doing commando missions that would make Delta Squad flush the shit they were able to pull off. I really like the Rogue Squadron books because they talk, because you have these pilots who are these freaking Starfighter pilots from all these different species and backgrounds that capture that level, sort of rogue fighters. We're also commandos, we're also pilots, and they do the mix the two together. That's really good. The race for the rogue, the Starfighter pilot commando archetype that the New Republic used in wars and campaigns. He's just so fucking cool. It's so unique in the Star Wars franchise. Compared to the Old Republic Commando. It's fun. I love the New Republic Commando. This scene with race war. Legends Gamble. This young, Force-sensitive pilot, who in my mind looks like Daniel Jackson, whatever. He's really flying his Clone Wars era X-Wing through the Coruscant city, dodging Imperial fighters and going this Death Star where he's going for this fucking tsunami and Coruscant is lost on its power. Imperial fighters are chasing him and he blows up and brings down the shields so the New Republic fleet can liberate the planet. And the space battle after that was also fucking amazing. I love the X-Wing books. They are peak Star Wars fiction. And other aspects I loved about Legends was this Luke rebuilding the Order. Talking about the New Republic being a continuation and the rebirth, the next generation kinda of Star Wars idealists from the Clone Wars to the New Republic books. I like that generation aspect of Star Wars. It's true in a lot of aspects. I think Legends did better than canon, obviously. But yeah, you had Bail Organa to Leia Organa, or freaking passing the torch from pilot to Clone War troopers to New Republic pilots. But the thing that always struck me so beautifully was the New Jedi Order. And like I said before, spiritually, as someone who was part of a cult and went through this journey of redefining my spirituality and going from cultish, denial of my very existence, denial of who I am as a person, and giving up all the things that make me me, and suppressing my emotions and being a fucking Vulcan. Which, that's what the old Jedi Order was. It was the suppression of your emotions to the point you're so legalistic and moralistic that you cause people to fall into these pits of darkness and loneliness, and you create monsters like Darth Vader. And to see Luke realize this, and here's the truth, he went back to the original source, the Jedi Order. He went back to like the Old Republic era Jedi, like the Sith Wars, the great Jedi philosophers like Joey Bindo, and discovered an entire Jedi library in Dathomir, and like built and took these ancient recordings. He found the ancient Jedi sources from the early stages of the about to Clone Wars had fallen. And he's like, here's truth, and here's where we screwed up. Here's the core truths and tenets of the original Jedi, and I want to bring that back. I want to make the Jedi Order what it once was. Get rid of all this legalistic, you can't love, you can't feel passion, you can't feel attachment. These things are inherently bad, but let's moderate them. Let's go with a code of intent, a code of nuance and discernment. And for me as a Christian, that has been one of the most transforming things in my life. I still look at the new Jedi Order philosophies of Luke, of Corrin, and their lives, how they lead these families, how they have these and navigate their emotions, and it's just so relevant. Other aspects of the New Republic era I really liked were just the sense of like how all these different writers and all these weird stories. Like the Tales of the Republic books, the anthology books were amazing. You had bounty hunters like Boba Fett going on adventures. You had like bounty hunters going around, going against hordes of like alien mercenaries looking for a hunt. Dark Saber was also great. The zaniness of the Outer Rim stories of Nar Shaddaa and Dark Saber was great for that. The Smuggler Adventures of Mara Jade, of Talon Crade fighting his hordes of stormtroopers. Like the Smuggler Adventures in the Republic era books were so defining for the genre. And the rogues like Talon Crade, it was so cool. Smuggler Alliance, the Kessel Moon, and Han Solo and Chewie being stuck in a freaking the spice mines of Kessel, being in these like slave camps to an alien frog mining like fucking spice from these mines. It was just so good. It was so campy and like it felt like pulpy Star Wars fiction. That's what Star Wars started off with. That's what I liked about the Republic era. It was before the prequels, and it was able to like capture that core essence of the original trilogy. Like space pulpy sort of fiction and sci-fi fiction. Base Star Wars book. And you see that throughout the Republic pilots like Race going on Rogue Squadron are like fucking Battlestar Galactica heroes like Starbuck from the original series, you know? The writers who were writing these books also grew up in the same era as George Lucas and had his same movie adventure, and they knew how to bring these stories to the forefront. Great, expanding mythos, using them. It was amazing. There are some mistakes. The Black Fleet trilogy, hit or miss, really go too Star Trek-y. There are abominations in the Trillian Saga. But the New Republic era always felt like this weird Wild West story, this mythos full of all these different characters going on different adventures. The wars between the New Republic and the Imperial remnants. Characters like Thrawn, Admiral Dala, Shadow Spawn, and his army of like Shadow Stormtroopers going against like, and with Luke Skywalker leading like New Republican Marines and Mandalorian mercenaries on this volcanic planet against this Dark Jedi Prince. It was awesome. I love those books. And just these feels, it was just such an exploratory time in Star Wars history where they knew how to explore all these different stories and create all these different feelings. And it wasn't really all that... It was political. Star Wars has always been political. But it didn't get to the point where we're, like, dealing with this SJW politics I so often see in sci-fi nowadays. There's exceptions to the rule, of course. But Star Wars to them always felt relevant, and they didn't force it. That's what the New Republic always felt like. And if you're looking for books to get started in your Star Wars, like, Legends, read you don't have to read them all. Read the X-Men books. Read the Jedi Academy trilogy. Throne Trilogy is pretty good. It's a bit dated, but I like it. Read the stories in the New Jedi Order. Read the New Republic era. Read books like Vector Prime. Some issues with that, but it's still a good book. I miss you, Chewie. Getting rid of you was wrong. But you'll find that out. And it was a mistake they made. But books I'd recommend: Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor, if you want to start chronologically. The X-Wing books are great. iJedi is great. Jedi Academy. These are great books. It does get a little repetitive towards like the end of the Republic era, where they're doing hit or miss things. But also books I'd recommend if you're okay with it is the Young Jedi Knight series. You literally have Luke training his next generation of Skywalkers, in this next generation of Jedi trainees on Yavin 4. And they're kids' books, but they're so fun and pulpy, and they feel like actual Star Wars books, more so than a lot of books come out now. You have Luke, Chewie's nephew, and Luke's kid, and like Leia and Han's kids. This new generation of Jedi Knights training on Yavin 4, having all these adventures, going around space. They fight mercenaries, Black Sun. They even have like this massive like final battle of the Galactic Civil War between this army of dark Jedi and Imperial remnants attacking Luke's academy, and the Jedi kick their ass. It's fucking amazing. And honestly, I will say this before the video ends: New Republic era is some of the peak Star Wars. You will fall in love with it, or maybe you won't. But the merit of it is, like, it's this galaxy of, it captures the sheer hope and core essence of Star Wars. Other books to read, the best book in the saga, in my opinion, is The Courtship of Princess Leia, where Han and Leia go on this adventure to, like, Han kidnaps Leia, takes her to this alien moon, fights Imperial armies of stormtroopers, and they, like, there's, like, this, like, war between these Force witches, the Night Sisters, that, like, the first, Dathomir makes its first appearance in Legends with that book. Han and Leia, they get married in the midst of this war between the Night Sisters and the Force witches. Luke becomes like a total fucking Force Giga Chad, pilots the Millennium Falcon, using the Force alone, saves the day, destroys the Imperial Dark Jedi cult. It's amazing. Give these books a shot. They're amazing. You will grow and you will see why Star Wars was so much better than it is now. And I will say there's still hope for Star Wars. Hopefully, like I said before in the video, Disney gets back to this core feeling of Star Wars, and they allow these writers and these fans to influence and be part of the Star Wars mythos. I hope they do. But even that, you can personalize it